This is Clergy TV. Arise, shine.
My name is Bishop Stanley Michael Michuki. I am the president of the Kenya National Congress of Pentecostal Churches in this country, and also the general overseer of Hope Restoration Church International. I'm also the chairman of Peace International Training Institute in this country, and also the chairman of Clergy TV. With me is Bishop Dr. Patrick Malai Mugai.
Thank you.
An elder in this country, and also the director of capacity building of the Kenya National Congress of Pentecostal Churches. He's also the general overseer
The Gospel Evangelist Churches. Okay.
Praise the Lord. And so we are here with Clergy TV to give our views.
Clergy TV. Kenya is watching.
The church is an entity that has its own regulations, because we are guided by the Word of God. And I know there are those who want to achieve mixing the Word of God with their own issues. That one is very clear. There are those people who oppress the congregation, and this is known. It is recorded with many. But all this happening, we cannot just say the government will have a mechanism or machinery of regulating the church, because the Bible is very clear in the 1 Corinthians chapter 2 verse 6. It talks about those who have the Spirit of God knows the mind of God, and it can dig and unearth all things that in the mind of God, because they have the Spirit of God. For sure, National Intelligence Services cannot, even CID, cannot vet the church, because they don't have that spirit of discernment to regulate the church. And because we have very strong umbrella bodies in this country, like Kenya National Congress of Pentecostal Churches, we have EAK, we have NCCK, we have all those umbrella bodies that are really capable of handling those kind of issues. The church should be left to regulate itself. And somebody said, use a thief to catch a thief. So you use the church to know who is called, who is not called, who is doing the right thing, who has the sound doctrine, and who doesn't have. So I think, Pastor Jogu, this is very clear that the church cannot be regulated by any other entity but itself.
Well, I agree with Bishop because of many reasons. One, right now we have a government that is friendly to church. Moi was a churchman. If you demand that churches are regulated, one of these days you're going to raise a president who is anti-church. What shall we do? So we do not create a situation where the church will be trapped into an issue. So I go to what Bishop said. Let the government set something in what we call in the parliament, parliamentary sort, where the church will regulate itself.
Yes.
We have NCCK, we have Evangelical, we have Kenya National Congress, and the church, the government should not only demand to make sure every local church is attached to these bodies. So if anything goes wrong, it is these umbrella bodies that will call this client to their court. And if there was any misunderstanding, they should be able to report to the government about this local church, but not the government going to the local church. And I believe with all my good mind, it is very safe for the church to regulate itself. We have 66 books of the Bible. I have gone to university, I did my bachelor's, I have my master's, I have my PhDs. But you know what? Even for my colleagues, scholars, we may disagree on something. Not that I am evil, she's evil, he's evil. It's only that my interpretation. Therefore, no government has ability to regulate doctrine, practices of the church. Let them not dare. It will be trapping themselves to do evil when they will not be there. Using someone whom they do not know, who will hate the church and use that.
And a very simple example. The government did not even have ability or mechanism of regulating matatus. They didn't. They couldn't. So they left matatu to have a circle. So that if a single matatu commit a crime or cause an accident, that circle will be responsible. And apart from the matatus, many other organizations, even doctors, even lawyers, even all those, they have their own associations for governing and regulating their bodies. So the same thing should be given to the church. We are the people who know each other. We know we cannot really preach the sound doctrine. We know when, and again we said, if this happens, if somebody go astray and oppress the church or do stealing or anything, should be dealt with him as an individual. We should not really put a blanket and say the church has done. No, it shouldn't. It is that individual, right? Is that individual. So that they not be that because of that reason they can regulate the church because somebody did this and that. No, let them deal with a person individually.
In fact, what the bishop is saying, when a policeman does anything wrong, you do not accuse the whole department.
No.
If a politician does something wrong, you don't deal with the whole parliament. No. That person, a farmer, a teacher, a student, why try to see the church through an eye of one pastor? It's wrong. So if anybody instituted this thought, let me tell you the motive was wrong.
Yes. So I think otherwise, if this goes the way the government may think about, it can bring a lot of confusion, and also it's going to bring another source of corruption, right? So we are saying fighting corruption. So if this now come and you give a responsibility to the police or to whatever body you give, it is going to bring another corruption. But if the church regulates itself, it will be powerful and it will be good.
This is Clergy TV. Arise, shine.